These days, Pope Francis seems more focused on politics than Catholicism. He's been critical of Trump and is infamous for breaking with traditional Catholic views on issues like homosexual marriage and use of contraceptives. It really makes you question whether he truly is a follower of the Bible or is just a pawn of secular liberalism. Recently, the Pope used money from his own charity, which is dedicated to helping the poor, to give $500,000 to Mexican caravan migrants trying to illegally make their way over America's border. See the news of the Pope's questionable use of charity funds for yourself on Twitter. This money could have been used to support some of the millions of poor people out there who aren't trying to break laws, but instead the Pope chose to make a political statement with his charity. In the past, the Pope also condemned Donald Trump for his devotion to building the border wall and stamping down on illegal immigration in our country. Pope Francis was quoted as saying, "A person who only thinks about building walls and does not focus on building bridges is not a Christian." Watch this clip of the Pope denying Trump's allegiance to Christianity. Many people have taken to Twitter to voice their opinions on the Pope's political agenda, pointing out his hypocrisy for condemning Trump for wanting to build a wall while living in isolated, walled-in Vatican City. Take a look. The image below is Vatican City. Its own separate country inside Rome, Italy. As you can see, it is surrounded by walls. But the Pope wants to condemn Trump for building a wall. Vicar of Christ. And what did Christ say about hypocrisy? pic.twitter.com/a9cynic, Jason Gaynor, @McFunVaR, April 1, 2019. The Pope is sending $500,000 to the migrant caravan trying to enter the U.S. How did the papacy suddenly go from preaching the word of God to being a polarized political arm of the swamp? The Pope should put his money where his mouth is and tear down those Vatican walls. Tyler Z, @RealTylerZ, April 28, 2019. CNN has more details on the Pope's donation to caravan migrants. Pope Francis donated $500,000 to aid migrants in Mexico, the Vatican announced Saturday. The money will be used for housing, food and necessities for the Central American migrants. The funds will be split among 27 projects in 16 Mexican dioceses and religious congregations, according to the release. Men and women, often with young children, flee poverty and violence, hoping for a better future in the United States. However, the U.S. border remains closed to them, Peter Spence, the Pope's charity, said in a statement. The near 75,000 migrants from Honduras, El Salvador and Guatemala that arrived in Mexico in caravans have been stranded, unable to enter the United States, without a home or a livelihood, the Vatican said. The Washington Examiner said the following about where the huge sum of money is coming from. The money will come from the Peter Spence collection, which is used to help the poor in whatever way is possible. In 2018, 6 migrant caravans entered Mexico, for a total of 75,000 people. The arrival of other groups was announced. All these people were stranded, unable to enter the United States, without a home or a livelihood, read a statement from the Vatican's Peter Spence office. In this context, Pope Francis donated US $500,000 to assist migrants in Mexico. This amount will be distributed among 27 projects in 16 dioceses and among Mexican religious congregations that have asked for help in order to continue providing housing, food and basic necessities to these our brothers and sisters, the statement read. BBC also stated, Pope Francis has donated $500,000, £387,000, to help migrants stranded in Mexico as they try to reach the U.S. border, the Vatican said. The money comes from the Catholic Church's Peter Spence Fund, from church collections around the world. A statement said vital aid for the migrants was falling as global media coverage of the crisis decreased. The Pope has previously criticized U.S. President Donald Trump's aim of building a wall to keep migrants out. The U.S. has put pressure on Mexico's government to stem the so-called caravans of people from Central America heading north. In 2018, 6 migrant caravans entered Mexico, for a total of 75,000 people. The arrival of other groups was announced, the Peters-Pence office said. All these people were stranded, unable to enter the United States, without a home or livelihood. The Catholic Church hosts thousands of them in the hotels within dioceses or religious congregations, providing basic necessities, from housing to clothing. You might like previous post previous next post next. Let's block ads. Why?